into the land where the warriors held sway. They had depicted them on the very wall of this temple, a battle scene in which naked men with spears were shown hacking Egyptian soldiers to death. The pharaoh had turned back and left the bodies to the vultures and the scavengers of the deep, the ones they had found lurking in the pool at this place that seemed so like their image of the primeval fount of darkness. But then the priests who had returned with the pharaoh to Egypt had taken the cult of the beast as their own, in Thebes, in the Fayum, reducing the beast to a mere cipher, to another manifestation in the cult of Amun that gave the priests control over the people and the pharaoh. They had caught the beasts and kept them in pools and tamed them and offered their mummies to the god. But out here on the edge of darkness the truth remained, harsh, visceral, a truth of fear and appeasement, of the sacrifice needed to harness the strength and power of the beast to protect the pharaoh and the army. Here in a place so far into the desert that the gods of the north hardly held sway, a place where a man could look into the souls of his distant ancestors, hear the words that the lector priest would soon read, had true meaning. Here to dip your foot into the Nile was to dip it not into a river controlled by men, but into primeval darkness. Today the man with the staff would draw all the power back into this place, and he would cleanse Egypt of the falsehoods and artifice created by the priests. He had seen the light in the desert. Today would be a new beginning, the start of a time of brilliance that he would spread to the world. He could see the statue more clearly now. The shaft of light that came through an opening high on the chamber wall continued to rise up the body as the sun set in the west. The lower part was the body of a man, 1 foot forward, wearing a skirt and naked from the waist up, bearing a sceptre in one hand and the Ankh symbol of life in the other. The statue towered over the man, at least twice his height, the massive musculature of the upper torso and arms making the head seem almost natural, as if such a creature could have been born that way. But it was the head of a crocodile, jutting out far into the chamber, fierce and terrifying. The head was still in shadow, a dark silhouette, but above it he could make out the plumed headdress of Amun and the horned sun disk of Ra, with the sacred serpent spiraling around it. As the light rose higher, the snout came into view, mottled green marble with teeth of cloudy quartz, jagged and shimmering. The eyes were just visible, limpid pools of black, and he could see the nostrils flaring and filled with cut crystals of red agate. They seemed to reveal an inner fire, as if the beast were burning within. The lector priest stood before the statue and unravelled his scroll. The man could see the hieroglyphic symbols on it, picked out in gold and red and green. The lector priest began to recite, his voice high-pitched and shrill in the chamber. "Hail to you, who arose from the dark waters, lord of the lowlands, ruler of the desert edge, who rules the river, who crosses backwaters, mighty God, whose seizing cannot be seen, who lives on plunder, who goes upstream searching for his own perfection, who goes downstream after hunting a multitude. A great number you will devour, creator of the Nile, Sobek, the raging one." The man stared at the head of the statue, waiting. He too would go upstream, searching for perfection. And then it happened. The shaft of sunlight reached the snout and the nostrils. A beam of red seemed to shoot out from the crystals, illuminating the smoke from the incense that rose from the priests, a swirling cloud that wreathed the head of the god as if it were rising from fire. The sunbeam seemed to engorge it with light, to ignite the eyes and the teeth, and at the same time to suck the light energy from it, as if it were awakening the beast and then drawing its essence back into the sun. The man whispered under his breath, "You are no longer Sobek. Now you are Sobek Re, the pathway of light towards the Aten. And soon you will no longer be Sobek Re, and the Aten will rule supreme." He had completed the ritual of purification, and he turned to go. Through the open doorway he could see the orb of the sun setting into the western horizon, orange and glowing. On the wall to the left, in front of the battle scene, was the cartouche of his own name surmounted by the crocodile symbol of a pharaoh, signifying strength and power. Ahead of that was an image he had ordered his masons to carve when he was last